We are here. We are live.
It's true. Hey,
How is it going today, Charlie? Let me
it's a good Monday.
let's get some
Kids are
background music
kid,
going.
kids are enjoying their TV time. I'm excited about this next step in the Zach Hammer system.
We're diving in. We are going further. We're going farther. We are going faster than we ever have before. So I don't actually know what we're talking about this week. So it is today. Today is the 21st. We did not meet last week.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, I had an unfun day last week. This time last week, we had to put our cat to sleep, and that was not good. That was not fun. It's been a hard week around the Hammer household. But we are onward. We're moving onward, and so I have the call that we last did from the 7th. Let me get the transcript pasted into that one, and then let's get that transcript assessed and see what we are supposed to be doing next. So let me share my screen.
isn't that amazing?
Indeed. Entire screen. Here we go. Okay. So I'm here in Crisp. Let's do this. And I just want to say, what did we accomplish and what are we supposed to be doing next based on this call?
I didn't know Crisp had AI chat built into it.
It does. Yep.
Well,
Surrounding process strategy. Reconvene around Charlie's episode. This is the right one, right? No, this says 2. It says 2 show, or yeah, this is the wrong one. I may not have put the wrong one or the right one in here. Okay, so let me see. So I need to go to the 7th. Here it is. I think this one's got to be it. This one might also include it. All right, there's that. All right, let me copy this and throw this in here. I apparently got the wrong stuff in here. Oh, come on, transcript. Here we go. All right. There's that one. And then let me grab this link, copy link. Let's go back to the top. Paste that in there. And this one actually has 2, so I'm gonna throw both in there.
oh, gotcha. So you're updating the link to the transcripts.
Correct. Yeah, I just realized I realized on the other one, I just looking at what it had said we were supposed to be doing next, I was like, that's not right. It said something about, doing a different show next week. It was like, I know that's not what we would have talked about. So not on this. All right, perfect. Okay. Yeah, so let's do this. Let me come back in here. Okay. This one should be able to tell this. Okay. What did we accomplish on this call, and what are we supposed to accomplish next based on the transcript?
Finally heard some music there.
Oh, there you go. Oh, maybe you have the Chris speaker where it's getting rid of the background noise.
Oh, I bet that's what's happening.
Because I'm hearing the music the whole time. Okay, so here's what we accomplished. We identified and explored webinar hooks. Let me see. Do I have webinar hooks created? Initial hooks collection. Okay. Offer documentation, strategic business analysis. Okay, I need to double check and see if we are missing any hooks on there. Documented the 3-step process for working with realtor partners, detailed the technical process for conducting and leveraging video content, explored targeting strategies, budget recommendations, discuss various problem-solving angles, review the transcript to create an exhaustive list of hooks, assess which hooks have more in-depth breakdowns, determine if additional teaching content, select the first hook, likely getting first conversations with realtors. Okay, create document, review. Okay, so what we need to do is we just need to double check and make sure. We need to make sure, did we get all the stuff out of this that we needed? So let me do this. Oh, that was just a placeholder. Okay. Oh, it looks like we need to add stuff in from there too. So let's do that real quick. So from the 30th, we need to add that information in there. 30th. There we go. Let's copy this transcript. All right. I got that one in there. And let's grab the link. Okay, perfect. Okay. Copy file path. Look at this. Look at this file. Then look at this transcript. And let's look at the Fusion Fellowship Reactor process. Am I missing any hooks that we discussed? If so, give me an updated artifact with all the hooks discussed. Don't create it as an Obsidian document yet. Also, if there are any topics that we discussed in detail, put together, what do I call it? A detailed, put together detailed hooks for those as well. There we go. Okay. Here's that. Here's that. Let's see how it does. And so from this, from our last conversation, we should be able to extract out the full list. I don't know if we, I don't think we already did that. We might have, but we want to be sure.
Find out how it works.
Indeed. Analyzing data.
It's pretty amazing how quick I can get used to this, but this is pretty amazing.
All right. The surfing conversation. I can see that several hooks and detailed concepts were discussed in your transcript that aren't captured in the initial hooks collection. Here's the updated comprehensive document. Total hooks identified so far, 32. Ready for development, 8. Needs further exploration, 15. Detailed development ready, 9. All right. I don't know what these stars mean. It's adding in things for us to indicate maybe which ones are like better fleshed out or something. I'm not sure. Okay.
It's a lot of potential hooks.
Yeah, give me artifacts for any of the detailed hooks. We're ready for detailed hook documentation on. Let me just double check. Usage. Detailed hook. Yeah, okay, perfect. Okay, so what I'm having it do, so it kind of grouped them weird. I wanted to change how it grouped them to be more subject matter based, rather than what it had, which was just kind of like, I think, when it was talked about. And so now it's putting things together based on what sort of silo it fits in your overarching system, right? And then I'm gonna have it go through and develop out what I call the detailed hooks, which is in the transcript. There are gonna be some things where it's like we talked about them in depth, and so we can lean on those, and we have a decent amount of potentially the core teaching already done.
Makes sense. I like that.
Yeah, perfect. And so like any one of these could be a good webinar. Because the way that I think about the webinars, and really I'm starting to change. I think I'm going to move away from calling them webinars and start calling them workshops. Because there's more of a thought around workshops that like you're actively doing the work together. You're, they're active. They're whatchamacallit. It's not just a sales pitch, right? Like it kind of subconsciously communicates that. And that's really what I do, right? When we put these together, that's what we do. We do workshop style. Now they do end up pointing toward sales, but it's not your typical sales heavy webinar. So anyway, so developing out these different workshops, part of what's powerful is that any aspect of what you do can become a great workshop that potentially either generates leads or activates your list, where it's just like you teach them a portion of it, and have a great opportunity to do something in a an hour-long session where you give them the high-level ideas, and it's just a nice, fun live event that you can deliver. But yeah, so far we have our updated complete hooks. I'll get that document updated too. We have the surfing conversation, the 6 questions framework, the 90-day realtor filter, and then the digital amnesia is what it's developing out. Here, while it's doing that, let's do this. This looks good to me. 10 to 15. Okay, so let's look at this. And let me go into your hooks collection. I don't want to have the title complete in it. I just want hooks collection for referrals while you sleep. Okay, we're going to change the name of that in here. Okay, now from these, how to select, who's the coolest, the door hammer versus smart strategy. I don't know what the door hammer was supposed to be. I feel like that's a this transcript
Thor's hammer.
Thor's hammer. Perfect. That helps. The Thor's hammer versus smart strategy. Okay. From coffee meetings to consistent partners. The interview revolution. The surfing conversation, 6 questions that turn strangers into partners, 15-minute bi-weekly system that builds million-dollar partnerships, why Zoom calls beat office meetings every time, how to transform from chasing vendor to selective growth partner. Let me go back over to this real quick. I want this. Well, not that one. I want the last one of these. There we go. And actually here, it's pulling it up in the Crisp app. Okay. Getting first conversations with realtors. Okay, so which of these? Survey conversation, 6 question, 90-day, leads versus liabilities, recording utilization hook. I don't think any of those. I'll go back over here. Easiest way to get conversations with realtors where they're actually excited to talk to you. Yeah, that hook. That's one that we want to start with.
Yeah.
Okay. Who's the coolest realtor strategy that gets you warm introductions? It's going. Documentation level is excellent, it says. All right, let me download this as a markdown file. And let's throw that into your Obsidian file. And let's get these others and get them downloaded too, just so we have them. The reason why I haven't been having it add these as files is often I want it to I want to change them before it actually adds them.
Gotcha.
And it wastes a bunch of tokens to have it add them, and then like the MCP with Obsidian is like it's hit or miss for whether or not it works exactly right. So
yeah,
it just ends up being like sometimes it works and it's great. It's really great at reading it and then leveraging off of that, but it can be hit or miss for
and it's simple enough to save, right?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so now in our process, part of what I want to look through is I want to see how well it has this done. I feel like it's probably most of the way there already. Let me close some of these out. Here's our hooks collection. Here we go. Okay, so in here, here's what we've completed. We completed the discovery call. We got your business strategy. We have the strategy session part completed. We've developed out your list of hooks. Next, we need to move into the webinar context discovery, where we have a decent amount of the information. Let's see, ideal client, disqualification, origin story, and journey. Yeah, so let's do this. Let's have it go through offer extraction, bonus document, core teaching, systems. Okay, so for this webinar, part of what we need to do is we need to flesh out our who information, which is like, who are you, who's your what was your journey, some of that. You and I have talked about this before, but I don't have a transcript with this anymore. Do you want to pull up and actually I could probably do this too, the old stuff that we did and see how much of it has changed, or like what we would emphasize these days. So we need to get who documentation so that we could get that set up. We need to get offer documentation. So what's the offer of the webinar actually going to be? We need to here, all presentations. Here we go. There we go. Here's realtors. Oh, why didn't it open in a new tab? I wanted to open in a new tab.
It did not listen.
It did not. I was holding command, but it did not like it. Okay, so That's fine. I'll just pull it up. Okay. So in here, all right, talk me through this slide. So these are the things. Just say out loud what you see on the slide. Any of it that's still true, still what you talk about, or anything that's different. Just talk me through what are the things that you would talk about from your history or your past that are like accolades, the things that you might say at a networking event to let people know what you've achieved, or maybe you wouldn't ever say these things because that's not how you talk about yourself. But like if somebody was gonna talk about the things that you've achieved, what all would you say?
So what I found works really well is the three things. Is one, I'm a programmer and ran my own marketing company for 13 years.
Right.
And then I built a real estate agent team and did that for 13 years.
Okay.
Was successful. Got to be the number one office team in my office. And then I was in a mastermind with 100 of the top realtors and lenders since I got into real estate.
Right.
And those are the three things that give me, that created this. I'm a programmer. I know what realtors want because I am one. Like, I had a team. I know what the average realtor wants too. And I was in a mastermind with loan officers that I learned what their problems were. And so some of my best friends were loan officers, and I asked them, hey, what's your magic wand scenario? And what other people say about me is that I live the life of most people's dreams. Most realtors don't believe it's actually true. I work 10 hours a week in my real estate practice, make $250,000 a year, only work with clients that come to me and want to work on my terms. And I do it with an hour a month of marketing.
Right.
There's a lot of coaches out there that, their new business was their escape hatch. And this is actually, my system is how I built my current business. And at any time I can talk about my current clients, which most coaches can't.
Love it. Yeah, one of the things that you say that I like too, by the way, is that you actually work less than the 10 hours a week, but you don't say that because people don't believe it. I think like what's funny to me is I literally, if I were you, I would say that. Like I would say I work 10 hours a week. I just like, because it makes me laugh that you're like, actually I work less, but I don't say that because people don't believe it. But
it's true. Okay, yeah, I should say that. I actually work less than that. But I don't tell people that because they just don't believe it.
And I would say it exactly like that because I think you'll get a laugh out of it. Yeah. And so this part, it's at least worth adding to the documentation. Maybe we make a note that it's not what you're typically emphasizing, but your first year in business, $18,600. Second year, you did $78,900, and then for the last 5 years, you've done at least six figures. So when we're speaking to the credibility for real estate audiences, that's the idea. And then the other thing that you throw out is less than 10 hours a week. Well, 10 hours a week, but actually less. And $250,000 at this point, right? Is the annual real estate income? Okay, perfect. Anything else in terms of awards or track record or anything like that? Maybe that we add a note that like they're things that maybe if they happen to be directly relevant to content that we can lean on them, but otherwise, what we've covered is sort of what we should emphasize.
Now, I mean, we've got, we built this when Referrals While You Sleep just started. I tell people, I started this in 2020 with 5 loan officers, and I said, hey, let's try this for 90 days, and if you like it, you'll pay me, and all 5 are still with me. There was actually, and I'll say, there was one that left because they wanted to try some other marketing, and they came back this last year and said, if you'll have me, I'd like to come back. Our biggest mistake we made last year was quitting this.
I love that. I
Um,
love that.
and um, yeah, so I mean that's all true. I've shared that. Um,
Perfect.
yeah, I think those were the big things.
Okay,
Um,
cool. So the other things that I want to capture in the Who documentation, so there's a few things that I capture in the Who. There's the why I'm a rock star, and then the why I'm human, right? So in the why I'm human, I want you to speak to a few things. What are some of the things that you've done, that you've tried and you've failed? What are the, separately, we'll talk a bit about like what are the things that are important to you. What are the things that would connect people to you as a person? That sort of idea. But yeah, so speak to like your story, the challenges over time, that sort of idea.
yeah. I mean, when I started my first programming business, like I had no idea what to do about business. My tax guy used to laugh at me because Cassie was the breadwinner as a hairdresser, and he just used to laugh and say, you just play video games all day. And it was because, I got helped. My parents built a website, and they referred someone, and like
Right.
I had zero idea about business or sales. And if someone said, "I'll think about it," I just believed them.
Right.
Right. And no clue at all, no clue idea on pricing or anything. And then I started, I got into marketing. I learned, ended up getting really successful. I had a great business, got to speak at conferences, had what I called anchor tenants. Back in, when was this? This was 2010. I was billing at like $125 an hour,
Right.
And then I was going to get into real estate, and I thought, you know what, like I've built my own business before. I'm successful. I'll be able to do this. And I joined. Had a pretty good group around me. I joined, Keller Williams. I did all their trainings. I did everything I could. I door knocked. I started out with mentors that had done a lot. Called Fizbos. Like I ran a marketing company, for heaven's sake. Like I knew how to do that, and got nowhere. Like from January until the end of July, I had nothing happening.
Right.
And then a friend of mine said, "Hey, you should check out this Buyer for Lonely." And they told me to like write a letter and send, and don't be advertising. Write a letter and send it to the people I know, and call them and just let them know that they've got a friend in the business. I got my first deal within 3 weeks, and then I got 4 more in the next 6 weeks. And
Right.
Then I was busy serving them, and so my business went down, and I was like, what am I going to do? And then it went back up, and through that, and then I thought, you know what? I believed all the lies that, I can't survive off of just relationships. I've got to, generate leads. I was like, okay, I can do that. I can run my own leads. I'm successful now. I need to feed a team, and I pretty much went bankrupt. Borrowed money against my home, and to quote unquote grow my team, and lost. Literally lost $100,000 of come lift me clients one year because I was chasing leads, and I was too exhausted to take care of the people that know me. And looking back, that's when I realized, like real estate is 2 different businesses. Like working with leads is not the same as working with people that know you, like you, trust you. And what I realized, they've got to remember you, and you've got to be able to respond to them.
Right.
Like as long as you don't pee on their coffee table, they'll hire you and work with you and trust you.
Is there a story behind that? Did you lose the client because you peed on their coffee table?
I did not. I lost clients by just being so exhausted chasing like strangers and treating my people that knew me as I would strangers. And they're like,
Right.
This isn't the you that I know. But
Right.
to like work with strangers, like it was very defensive.
Right.
You don't know if they're going to show up. Buyers are liars because you don't know them. They don't know you.
Right.
Um, they don't know if they can be honest. So I was beat down. You know, I had payroll. I had the moment where I talked to my coach. I was like, I don't know what to do.
Right.
Um, and I called my brother-in-law and said, Hey, can I borrow $5,000? Like, I need to hit. I need to bank payroll. And I had to like fire a really good friend. And my coach said, just talk to your people again. And I started going back up. Um, like I've done most of the coaching things. Like I generate leads. Um, I've built a team. I've worked with showing agents.
Right.
And what's interesting about me, like before I got into real estate, I had a really great internet lifestyle business. Like I
Right.
spent 3 months in Costa Rica before I got into real estate and
Right.
ran my business from there. And so as I got deeper into real estate, I didn't feel stuck like other people did. Like I knew there was a better way.
Right.
And when I first got into real estate, I said, I want to work with people. My clients love me. I love them. I don't burn the candle at both ends. In fact, I should share with them my mission and vision and values that I wrote. And, my broker, she said, there's no way that you can not talk to people about real estate until they know who you are, what you do, and they're sure they want to hire you. So
Right.
good luck with that. And eventually I gave up on it. I thought, there's no way to have that real estate business in my dreams. Um, I'm gonna start working on software. And I interviewed my lender friends and built the system for myself. And it really wasn't. I mean, I'm selling this now because it really wasn't until this year that I was talking to my coach, and he said, I read that to him, and he's like, Charlie, you thought you gave up on that. This was the side quest you had to do in order to create that.
Right.
Like this is the fulfillment of your vision from 12 years ago.
Right.
And like it's true. Like I've got that business now. Like I just had a friend today text me and said, all right, we're ready. Like what do we need to do to sell our home? Like that just happens every week.
Right.
And it's so like I've had the ups and downs. Like real estate is really hard. I I had to take on debt just to survive. Like it's not easy.
Right.
I've got a rental now. I've flipped a home. It's like my business is like real estate's up and down. One of my insights is you got to look over it. Like I'm probably not going to get 1 or 2 deals a month, but I'll probably get 15 to 20 deals in a year.
Right.
Like, I know most coaches say, grind during the November, December, January. And what I realized is by the time my clients wanted to work with me in March, I was exhausted.
Right.
And like now my insight is enjoy this time with, my mentor actually said, did this happen the year before? Yeah. Did this happen the year before that? Yeah. He said, well, listen, dummy, why don't you save up when you got your business during the summer?
Right.
And he's got a painting business. He said, that's what I do. I prepay all my utilities and then I enjoy my family and I enjoy the holidays because I know it's going to come back. And like, I've never heard of anyone else in real estate actually say that.
Right.
But, this year when I was talking to the, newer agents I was working with, like some of them in the business, I was like, enjoy this time. Like,
Right.
and I asked the same question. Did it come back the year before, the year before, the year before? Like, yeah.
Right.
So I've learned how to like look at it annually instead of month over month.
Right.
And just realize, like, I tell my kids, like, July and August, September, I'm probably gonna be busy. Like, that's just in my practice when I'm the busiest.
Right.
And we're gonna have a whole lot of time to play Fortnite during the, December and January and until Valentine's Day.
Right. Right.
One of the hardest things too about this though, and it might sound silly, is I was really, really embarrassed to tell most people that I didn't want to work 80 hours a week. I didn't want to double my business. Like I hit 40 deals one year and I was like, I'm exhausted. I
Right.
mean, me and my wife didn't have a relationship. I was probably as fat as I'd ever been.
Right.
Um, like unhappy, unhealthy, rich, right? You know,
Right.
and I went to this business coaching. They're like, it's easier to 10x than 2x. I was like, I don't want to 10x my business. I want to 10x my life. Like, I want to get wealthy without sacrificing being a dad, being a husband, my health.
Right.
Um, but I was really embarrassed to tell people, like, I want to work 15 hours a week. Like, I just want to, like, I don't want to get up at 8 in the morning and make 3 hours of phone calls and 7 appointments a week to close 20 deals a year. Like
Right.
I want to be strategically lazy. And it was hard when I was building a team, like and hiring people to tell people that. But now I'm just like, look, this is what I want. And what I found out is actually what most people want. Just
Right.
their brokers tell them it's not possible either.
Right. Right. Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. Speak to, so that we can get it in the transcript. Speak to the tale of two clients as well.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I am so emotional these days. Like I am just I don't know. I just felt very emotional. I may even cry saying this, but
Right.
um well, I mean, it was the day that I found out that my dad was dying, right?
Right.
Uh Pretty emotional. And I was running Zillow leads and I was meeting this client that morning. She was the lead. I met her at the house. Her parents were there. She signed a buyer's agreement. I remember there's still snow on the ground. It was like right after, the end of February, like when things start turning around. So,
Right.
I definitely want the business. And like, I mean, I'm good with people, like that's great. I've learned how to convert strangers. Like, I
Right.
mean, like this was a Zillow lead that became a client, she's going to pay,
Right.
you know, 3%. I'm gonna get a broker fee. Met her parents. Like, this is great. Then later that afternoon, I meet with some friends of mine, helping them buy their first home.
Right.
And we go looking at properties, and we find the one. And they're like, "This is it." I was like, "All right, I'm gonna go back to the office and work on it." And I get a call, and my stepbrother's just blowing my phone up. What's
Right.
going on? And I finally answer it. Yeah, I am going to cross. And he said, "Hey, your dad's in the emergency room
Right.
in Alabama." And like I was such a workaholic that I was like, well, I mean, there's nothing I can do. And so I go back to the office and I start working on this offer for my friends.
Right.
And all of a sudden, I just stopped and started crying. I'm like, what am I doing? Like, my dad's in the hospital.
Right.
And I had an assistant and called her. She's like, I've got it. Um, Call my wife. She packs my bag. I call, the client from that morning. Hey, you're in good hands with my assistant. Um, she's like, oh, I totally understand. That's great. I call my friends. They're like, oh yeah, go take care of your dad. So I get down there and I'm there all week. Like, he's in the emergency room. He When he saw me, he was shocked. Like, he knew I was a workaholic. Like, he wasn't expecting it. And but I'm there all week. And day 3, my friends, like, they'd been calling me and saying, hey, how's your dad? Anything I can do for you? And I'm calling them, and they're like, hey, we're in good hands. Like, your assistant's taking great care of us. Like, what
Right.
can I do for you? And I'm doing the same thing with this, this new client from Zillow. And it was probably like day 3, maybe day 4. She called me and she was like, Charlie, I'm sorry for your dad, but I've got to find a place and I've got to find another realtor. And actually, it was that week that I realized clients were a lot like waves in the ocean.
Right.
Like especially surfing. Like, I can choose to, take the wave, or I can let it go past, and life goes on. And that was my big insight. Like, there's a big difference between strangers and people that like they care about me as much as I care about them.
Right.
And like I've never talked to that girl before. I don't even remember her name. I'm
Right.
sure I could look it up, but I don't care to. And my friends, I've helped them uh, buy 2 more houses, 3 more houses, sell 2 houses. We're still good friends. Um,
Right.
and I mean that. Like, why in the world do I want to spend my? Because in real estate, it's like I sell my roof and I move on. Like we're
Right.
going to have to be close for probably at least 90 days,
Right.
um, maybe longer. And yeah, that's to tell 2 clients.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. It was essentially that realization of why even when you're doing the leads right, still how it goes, right? That
Right.
uh, do it well, convert them, have a good relationship, all of that. It's like it wasn't horrible or obnoxious, but it was something where there was zero loyalty and zero reason to stick around. So yeah, and that's after you had done lots of work to get good at that, right? It's even harder starting out, but yeah. All right, yeah. Let me think. What else? Tell me more. Like what personally motivates you? What are you working toward these days? What do you enjoy to do? Yeah, just give me more of the personal details. Like what if people wanted to connect with you personally, what should they know?
I mean, my goal in life is to be wealthy without sacrificing health, relationships, being a dad, being a husband, um, being healthy without sacrificing my happiness and joy.
Right,
To me, that's what wealth is.
right,
And to have, I met with a financial advisor and he was like, all right, when do you want to retire? I was like, I never want to retire. Like, I want to do something that I never have to quit. Like, I
right,
love doing what I do. One of my weaknesses is I can't do something that I don't believe in or I
right,
don't like doing. One of the reasons I actually got out of the web business was I didn't believe that websites were important for most people, and I couldn't sell them something that I don't believe in.
right,
And that's probably one of the reasons that I've been a great real estate agent. I tell clients, you should not sell a house right now. Like
right.
I'm clear, like I'm okay with that. Um, and I my whole goal in life is to like yeah,
Oh,
homeschool them.
you're
Uh,
cutting out. Say that again. Your whole goal in life is what?
can you hear me now? Is this
I think
better?
so. I think so.
Okay. My goal in life is to build a network around my kids
Right,
that becomes their network as they grow. We homeschool our kids, we travel. I say, I want to teach them the creative verse that they can create whatever they want in life.
right,
Um, if they can serve enough people, and um, I'm not going to send the kids to Princeton or one of those places. Like my goal is to serve successful, good entrepreneurs that are good people,
right,
and like I want you guys to be my kids' community. To
right,
be that. And I have to solve problems. I tell my friends, don't take advantage of me. If you tell me a problem, my brain will start working on it. I can't help it. I love it. Um,
you and I are
and
similar in that way.
right, right. That's why we're such good friends. Like we can tell each other the problem and we solve it together. And um, I love traveling. Um, I've sacrificed my health. I've sacrificed relationships. Like I missed my 5th anniversary when I ran my web business because uh, I was working on a project, and in my mind, I couldn't get out of it.
Right,
And, like I'm just not going to do that. I'm not going to sacrifice that. I believe if I chill out, trust the universe, and don't burn stuff down, everything's going to work out. That's my personal slogan. Um, I'm, I love to research and figure out what other people are doing and finding a better way.
right,
Um, and like it's just, strategically lazy. I say that a lot. Like I mean, I basically built a software for myself, so I would never have to go on social media myself.
Right.
Like I could go on social media like 10, 15 minutes a day, or I can spend years building a social media software that does it for me now.
Right.
And in real estate, like I was on call, and I didn't want to be on call anymore. I wanted to be there
Right.
for my kids, and I was raised by my great grandparents, and um, they show, I was their third generation that they raised. And I saw how just uh, uh, like they treated me as a kid as like the most precious thing,
Mm.
and because like they'd been through it a couple times, they knew how quick the childhood goes and how precious it was.
Right.
Like they just cherished me. And of course, I knew a lot of their friends that there's a yacht club down the street from me that a bunch of their friends were, and I got to know them. And like their most important thing, they're like, man, I've got everything I want. The most important thing to me is my kids and my family and my grandkids.
Right.
And they say, I wish I had more, but I can't. So I enjoy what I have.
Right.
And, so I've got this unique ability to realize like, I'm going to cherish my kids now so that I don't have that regret. And, like in some ways I say I can make all the money in the world when the kids, go to college and, don't want to hang out with me. Of course, I've got a good friend says, like your kids are probably going to want to hang out with you because you're a good dad. And like,
Right.
I believe that's possible. But like one of my goals is, take it day by day, step by step, be
Right.
present in the moment. And don't burn stuff down.
Indeed. Love it. Let me see
Yeah.
if there's anything else.
I
Let's.
love jujitsu.
Yep.
That's I talk about that all the time. My kids got into it. I thought I'd try it. I tell everybody it's the most fun I've had as an adult legally. I probably train as often as I can, usually at least 4 days a week, sometimes 7.
Right.
It gives me something again that I can do with my kids, my boys forever. My
Right.
wife, she's super fit. She tried it. She's into it. It's what we do. We don't travel anywhere unless we make sure there's a jujitsu gym close by because it's
Love it.
like it's my workout. Um, and been married 20 years. And yeah, I mean, I love doing fun things with fun people and fun locations.
Right.
That's been my goal for a really long time. And one of the reasons I built Referrals While You Sleep was because the traditional real estate practice is you're locked into one place.
Right.
And I work with my clients all over. I use showing agents, and like I love the freedom to travel and let my kids see. I've traveled a lot when I was young, and like when I was in high school, I got to go to Israel and Germany and India, and like I mean that just changed my world. A lot of my
Right.
friends, were like, I mean, I was really good at FIFA soccer, but like some of my friends, that's all they thought about. Whereas, like I saw this completely different world in India and Germany, and like I mean, it changed my view, and I got to travel a lot. So I want my kids to have that, and
Right.
I want to continue having that. There's something cool about leaving for a month or two and then coming back, and like I see my hometown fresh again,
Right.
and I really enjoy seeing things brand new.
I love that. Okay, so we've covered pretty well kind of who you are, and track record for sake of like the story of Referrals While You Sleep came to be, especially like why it was created, all of that, and a lot of your personal track record when it comes to why a real estate agent should listen to you, especially, right? Because you have achieved what I think most real estate agents, if they really understood it was an option, what they would really want, if that makes sense. I think a lot of people stop believing that it's a possibility. And there are a few people that don't want what you have. They like the building a big organization. They like that, or at least they've convinced themselves that they like that. And So there are some people in that world that maybe don't want what you have, but I think that's the rarity, honestly. I think most people, if they could choose between the chaos of that versus what you've built, they'd choose what you've built. Speak about, now you aren't personally a lender or loan officer, but you've helped in that world. Speak to the results and track record that you've found through your clients in terms of what you're helping them do. And what do those results look like?
Yeah, luckily I was in a mastermind with some of the top lenders in America,
Right.
and like I was in accountability groups where we talk like every week for years.
Right.
And like one of them, he's built and sold 2 mortgage practices. He's running a third. He was one of the first people that tried referrals while you sleep. And because he's sold his practice twice, he tracks every pre-approval, every pre-qual, every incoming contact. He tracks everything. And he's got a huge database of about 6,000. He used to send out a newsletter every month, but then, that was $6,000 a month.
Right.
And so he cut that down and sends out an email newsletter.
Right.
And of course, email, like it works, but you're not going to get as much, you can get unsubscribes. And he had 2 really great results. One, so in the first 6 months, he got a 47% increase in past clients coming back and referrals.
Right.
And I mean, he does really good business. So a 47% increase. And then one of the others is that he used this with his realtors. And one realtor, she was like number 5 on his, like how many deals he did. She actually got up to number 1 by using the strategy.
Right.
And she's still using it.
Right.
And every time I talk to her, she's like, I just tell everybody about you. Like, this is amazing. Like, I'm always getting business. So that's a great one. My friend Mark Day, he was the first person I talked to. I remember I was walking around and for hours, I interviewed him. I interviewed Tracy. I interviewed Paul.
Right.
And I was just like, what's a dream come true scenario? What's the problems of, find out the problems of, you chase new agents, 1 out of 30 are going to do good, and you're going to answer a lot of questions and help them. So it's a waste, you go after experienced agents. If they jump for you, they'll probably jump for someone else.
Right.
Like the really good agents, how do you get in front of them and build that relationship when they've got one? So Paul, he took this and ran with it. He actually got, again, like, I don't even want to tell people the results because they don't sound true, but I got the screenshot. He got $100,000 in commissions this first year from real estate realtor relationships from this.
Right.
And he's actually the one that said we need to do video and we need to do the realtor waiting list program. Like, I mean, it was kind of, he took it and helped invent it. He's still using it. And then Mark Day, Mark Day, he said he does about 2 hours a day that feels like work.
Right.
He takes Fridays off. He actually said, he started working on Fridays because like he just liked it.
Right.
He's like, I got to get back to work. He coaches his kids' baseball teams. He loves what he does. He and too specifically, there's one realtor in his area that like you've probably got, if you're a lender, you've got this person in your area. They've got a great reputation. They've been in business for over a decade. Like they're just solid, And Mark had been like trying to do one deal with this guy for like years.
Right.
And he invited this guy to this system, did the call, did the 90-day call. It was really cool. I checked in on right before the 90 days was up, and the realtor was like, hey, I'm trying to figure out how to send him a deal. Like, I'm so grateful for what he's doing.
Right.
And he ended up referring his son for a purchase that year. Like that's pretty cool. And ended up doing 58 grand in commissions from
Right.
this realtor that year. Um, this year, referred as buyer's agent. So he's working with this guy's buyer's agent. And then there was another agent. She was really similar, kind of for years. She was the top agent in the area. Same thing, been pursuing. They might have done like one or two deals through the years, but it's
Right.
been a long time. And last year did 28 grand, worth of commissions on that. So those are, those are some great ones. Jerry, he's been in the business for a really long time. He's
Right.
managed branches, and he's with Nexa, which is like they've got their lender count is huge, and he was just right outside the top 5%. He was like top 6% last year. And the
Right.
cool thing is, I asked him how many outbound calls did you do? He said 0.
Nice.
I said, how many hours do you work a week? He's like 35 on a busy week. Like he's like he's just like there was a lender that he worked with like 2 years ago, like did a loan on for someone that bought a house for a builder.
Right.
And the builder called him out of the blue and needed a loan, and he helped him.
Right.
Mark had another one, it was a former neighbor. And Mark moved 5 years ago, and the guy wasn't in his database, wasn't in his mailings because, he's his neighbor, went to church with him. Sometimes it's kind of weird, to put that person on your mailings. And so Mark moved away and had talked to him for 5 years. And the guy called him out of the blue and says, hey, I'm thinking about, this was, back in the refinance boom. I'm thinking about refinancing. Like, should I?
Right.
Mario was like, he did it, helped him, got him a refinance. Then he referred his son for a purchase. Then he referred, I think, his mother-in-law for a reverse mortgage. Like
Right.
all of that because the system worked.
Love it. Love it. Talk me through in developing this specifically for the lenders. So we covered track record for lenders really, really well there. Walk me through the problems in the story around specifically developing this for lenders. What obstacles did you run into? What lessons were learned kind of as you developed it out? And like what was the original vision for the lenders and what was the process really to come to the system that you have now? Does that make sense?
Yeah. So like I originally built a version of this for myself.
Right.
And what I would do is I would like export all my phone contacts and I would retarget them online, and I'd have a picture of me and a testimonial.
Right.
And it would just run in the background. And so when I started working with lenders, like their goal was, if I could work with 10 realtors I really enjoy and fund 10 loans a year with each one and market my sphere of influence.
Right.
I'd be as happy as could be, especially if I could do it without dropping off donuts and MSAs and buying leads and, being on 25 appointments and, doing Thor's hammer of 2,000 calls for the next 20 years. Like that would be my goal. And, the problem is, you go after the new agents, 1 out of 30 is going to, we say 1 out of 10, but 1 out of 30 is going to do well. They're going to take a ton of time. And then you hope as they get busier, they're still loyal. But the truth is there's really nothing besides reciprocity.
Right.
For the most part. And every other lender's chasing. Or you go after experienced agents and, if they jump to you easily, they'll jump to the next one easily. They're probably going to want money. They're going to want leads. Or like if they're really good, really loyal, you just got to be there at the right time. How do you do that?
Right.
And so the question was like, all right, how can we? And there's two problems. The hardest problem is the first call. Like, how do you get in like conversation with the realtor the first one.
Right.
Like that's the hardest part. And the second hardest part is how do you get the next 6 calls?
Right.
Because you finally get them to answer once. But Google's researched this with the 711 core. Like, how do you
Right.
actually build a relationship with them? You can call them each week, but like they don't have another deal for you. Like, what are
Right.
you actually going? They don't really want your gift card for your open house,
Right.
or your coffee. Um, and so I helped them realize like what is it that realtors really want, and what are you giving realtors that doesn't help them? And so one of the big insights was leads are liabilities. Like you think you are helping realtors, like helping them with leads, and you wonder like why do they not close the leads? It's not because they suck as it's because one, it's two separate businesses. You got sphere of influence and you got leads.
Right.
But like what is the liability? It's something that costs time, costs energy, costs money, loses value as time progresses. And that's
Right.
a great that's what leads are. Like leads, they suck your time, your energy, your soul. Um, and like if you got into business for freedom, which most realtors, they want time freedom, relationship freedom, purpose freedom,
Right.
money freedom. Leads don't give you that. Like you're locked in. You got to respond within 3 seconds. Your dad can't get sick. If he does, you can't go to the hospital, be there with him, or you're going to lose him. Like this isn't hyperbole. It's reality.
Right.
They don't care about you. There's no connection. So that's one. Leads are liability. And then two, can you hear the kids in the background?
A little bit, but yeah, keep going.
So, and y'all get out of here. It's my fault. I'm up here, but I don't like being alone in the basement. So leads are a liability. The other is what realtors really want is compliant clients. A
Right.
compliant client is someone that wants to work with you, that is likely to close, wants to follow your direction, and
Right.
you enjoy. And those people are people that you already know, people that pass the grocery process.
Right.
And so then the question is, all right, like, hey, please get out of here, okay? I've already asked you. He doesn't want to see that banana. Uh, and where was that? Compliant clients in the
Right.
database. And so the question is like, how do you do that? Like, it'd be great if you could build the database for them.
Right.
It would be great if you could like market them to their sphere of influence. And
Love it. So this is all part of it. I mean, honestly, in terms of what we're helping Charlie do, Charlie wants to be dad, and Charlie gets to be dad. In terms of how I work with people, I love getting to work with people in the midst of reality and their life. I think I don't know. I think some people are a little bit too caught up, kind of like you're talking about, right? Like, I expect that people are going to take care of their sick kids and take care of those people. It's like, let's figure out how to be productive while that's happening. So yeah, little bit of a
that's the
diversion is
purpose
not a
of it.
problem.
Yeah. And so if you could market them yourself, you would. So the first version of this, I built something we call the magic link,
Right.
and it actually built someone's database from everyone in their phone address book
Right.
and everyone in their email address book, which that's pretty cool.
Right.
The first version, we just downloaded everyone from the contacts.
Right.
And then there was a problem with that, which was as they meet new people, how do you get the updated contacts
Right.
without them having to do that entry? So I actually programmed a version that automatically updates. So that was one of the issues that we had, one of the problems we solved. So now like people ask like, how do I keep updating the contacts? Well, if you're in real estate, you're really good at calling people, texting people,
Right.
emailing people. You might suck at data entry as I am. Like I hadn't updated my database. Like I might add 3 people every 3 years.
Right.
the option, like, why this is so valuable. What are your options as a realtor? You hire an assistant, um, you do it yourself, and then you don't do it. You hire a VA, but all that is training, you know.
Right.
Whereas this, like, just save people on your phone. It's updated. That's really cool.
Right.
Then the second thing we did was we ran the play that I did. So it was the image and a testimonial that we ran for the realtor,
Right.
and it worked. And the loan officer got the first call. That was easy. Hey, look, here's a 90-day trial.
Right.
And but they didn't have a relationship. Like, the realtor got on the 90-day trial, and then like no relationship was ever built. It's like, okay, cool, yeah, I'm getting business, but
Right.
it wasn't helpful.
Yeah,
to
it's
build, because I mean, what
it's
you want is the relationship.
yeah, and relationships are just always forged over time, right? Shared experiences over time.
Right.
That's where relationships come from. And so yeah, so you, in that process, you figured out, hey, like, you're creating some level of positive affinity, right? It's like, if
Yeah.
they had something to talk about, they take the call because they like them, right? Like, you're helping me get business.
Right.
This makes sense. But yeah, you're not building the relationship, which is what's really necessary for the lender to be top of mind, for the realtor to make a referral, right?
Right. Yeah. So it didn't develop the relationship, which is what you want.
Right.
And so you end up with the thing, one of the issues that lenders have is they'll chase a realtor for 18 months, 24 months, I mean, maybe years, and then you end up working with them or one of their clients. You're like, oh man, these guys suck. I don't want to work with you or your clients. So you don't find out. So
Right.
the goal is like, all right, how do we like shrink that into like a small time?
Right.
And so Paul came up with this idea. Let's do this. Let's say we're going to do a video with you every other week for 90 days.
Right.
And like we're gonna use that video as content. One, we found out video works so much better. Like, that's
Right.
amazing. And then now you're getting the relationship.
Right.
You're also getting, do they show up on time?
Right.
Do they communicate? You get to really like ask them about their, so we've got like a list of questions, like ask them about their favorite clients, why they're still in the business, what their dreams are. And you get to see, you get to know them.
Right.
So that at the end of the 90 days, and what's cool about this, that you just couch it as like, this is just a 90-day trial. Like, and one of the questions, all right, like, what's in it for me? Like, they're getting the content.
Right.
And I love what Mark says. He's like, I don't want your current business. I want to help you grow your business. Like, that's
Right.
my goal. And then at the end of the 90 days, like, if you like them and they like you, you say, man, this was really great. I'd like to do this going forward. Like, I've really enjoyed this. And so what that solves is, one, now you've got the relationship. And even,
Right.
when we hit the refi boom, you can still do a 15-minute call every other week. Or if you get
Right.
super busy, you can have 2 shirts. This is one of our advanced tactics. You have 2 shirts, you record one show, switch shirts, record the second show. So you get them all done in 30 minutes for the whole month.
Right.
Like, we could just talk right there. You get all of your marketing done in 30 minutes for a month to
Right.
your sphere of influence. Unbelievable. I think like getting clients is, I mean, at the end of the day, if you don't have clients, you don't have anything, right? You got to get that. But what really is powerful about this is it's not a 20-hour-a-week job that almost every other marketing coach gives you,
Right.
where you got to learn technology, or you got to like, you got to like, yeah, like most, you pay $2,000 a month and you get this 20-hour-a-week job. And then you
Right.
got to like service the business. The coolest thing is like 30 minutes a month for your realtor. Like, that's
Right.
amazing. And the clients it brings aren't like that chick that called me when my dad was sick
Right.
that said, hey, I need someone else. They're the people like Mark and Kelly that say, what can I do to help you?
Right.
Like, it's bringing the people that, again, like, as long as you don't actively try to destroy the relationship,
Right.
like, they're going to continue working with you. and it's just going to keep coming on autopilot. And for the first time ever, instead of just having this 90-day hamster wheel where you look for people that are looking to move in the next 90 days and get them to trust you quick, instead of that, this is actually real compound interest. We know the majority of them are going to move in the next 7 to 10 years.
Right.
And now they're going to see me top of mind in a cool way that builds my authority this year. So if they want to move this year, they trust me. If
Right.
it's 3 years from now or 7 years from now, they will have been seeing me every day. They're going to trust me even more. They'll
Right.
probably will have referred people to me. They'll probably will have reached out at some time about a real estate question, and I've got the space to answer it. I mean, I had a call yesterday from a past client. He's like, "Hey, I just built this four-season room. Is it going to add value?" I'm like, well, I don't know. I was like, let me come over and look at it.
Right.
Like, I'm not expecting a deal there, but I'm
Right.
able to serve him. So, if he does want to, like it just changes the perspective. We actually have compound interest where everyone that I've met in the past that, like Mark's neighbor from 5 years ago hasn't seen him, but he still gets the deal. So everyone you meet continues to see you. So that was the insight with the lenders. And then the last thing, that there's two other things. The other is, it was really hard to get realtors to just sign up for the 90 days without knowing much. So the lender had to talk to them, and then the lender had to connect them to me, and then I had to explain it to them. And like, it's free for 90 days.
Right.
They had to pay ad spend
Right.
for is $3 a day, which is unbelievable. But what I realized is, now the lender says, "Hey, I want to do one video with you."
Right.
So it makes it even easier. And I want to market in my sphere of influence. Only then, if the lender still likes them, they say, "Hey, I'd like to do 90 days with you."
Right.
So that's the new. It's so much easier to offer. You're not having that big commitment. And the other really cool thing is, now the realtor can start the 90-day trial without having to spend any money. They don't do the
Right.
ad spend, and they don't have to talk to me. They can actually onboard themselves in just a few minutes, and we actually post the content on their socials board. So it's just immediate gratification. It's like 10x better than it was.
Love it.
So it's easier for lenders to talk to realtors. Easy for them to onboard. They never have to talk to me. You've got my story, like, you can share with it. And then we got a playbook. Like, if they never want to even sign up for the trial, they can just read the playbook and do it themselves.
Right.
And so we've had a lot of, as you can see, there's been a lot of things we've learned from, and
Right.
I'm not going to stop.
Right.
I didn't even talk about that. Now we actually create clips from the videos, which is cool.
Right.
And that's, I guess that's the biggest, some of the biggest things that we've learned. That the whole goal: how do you get the first call? How do you get the next 6 calls? And then I think the other part is, with you doing the video, it creates true scarcity.
Right.
Like, you literally cannot do this with everyone in your MLS.
Right.
And from like the best football coaches in college, they've got a limited supply, and their goal is to get the best players.
Right.
And Nick Saban, the Alabama coach, when he first went to Alabama, they said, "Are you going to win a championship?" He said, "All I can tell you is that we're going to coach them to be as good as possible. And if we don't win a championship with them, we're going to get better players." And what's cool, like, now you're the recruiter. You get to choose who you give this gift to of your
Right.
time. And then when it markets them to their sphere, guess what? You're in the videos too. So when they refer their sphere feels like they know you.
Right.
One of the cool stories is my friends that were asking about me when my dad was sick. What I didn't tell you is he is a type A negotiator. He is tough
Right.
to negotiate, and he negotiated really hard with my lender the first time,
Right.
with Paul. And Paul's like, I'm serving him because he's your friend.
Right.
like he is like, I'm not making money on this, but I'm gonna make it work. And then Paul was doing this service, and a few years later, when I helped him buy his next one, he reached out to Paul directly and said, "Man, it's so great. You know, I feel like I'm glad you've been keeping in touch with me. I feel like I know you and your family." He hadn't been emailed it once, hadn't called it
Right.
once, but he felt like it because of the service. And there was no shopping, no negotiating. It
Right.
was amazing. And um, they're actually looking to do another deal. And he called me. My friend called me the other day. He said, "Yeah, I called Paul. I've got a meeting set up with him, and
Right.
this is what we're thinking." And so that's, I mean, that's the, there's nothing else out there like this, because I
Right.
don't know. Like, I'm a realtor, and I know why realtors avoid your calls, and I
Right.
know what realtors want, and I'm a programmer, and so we
Right.
reverse engineered it so that you can legally, with RESPA, give the realtors what they want. Right.
Right. I love it. I love it. So a few things that I heard on that. There's some more success stories thrown in there too. The problems specifically in the journey around working with lenders that I heard is one, like you said, getting them the first call. The first call, there's this great opportunity with what you had figured out with the picture plus testimonials. That doesn't get you calls 2 through 7, right? You need those in order to actually establish the relationship. So you figured out that you had to do that. That's where the videos came from. And that's working pretty well, but still had some downsides. One of the downsides is there was kind of like too much at once, right? Like selling people on the whole process. So you figured out one video was a really great way to make it quick, easy, get them set up, get them started, all of that. You figured out and along the way, there's a number of aspects where the more that they needed you involved, the more that ran into problems. So you built a whole bunch of systems to make it as quick, seamless, and easy in terms of onboarding and automation and all of that. So you helped with that. And then the other thing that I heard you say, what was it? I had it. This is kind of, there's all sorts of ways throughout this and different lessons along the way. But part of what you learned was the worst thing in the world is to spend all this time with somebody and then figure out that it's not a good fit, right? And so you figured out how the process itself really helps a lender in order to select the right people to essentially each step validates that it's worthwhile to go to the next one, the next one, the next one, until by the end of the process, you're going to have less people than you started with, but that's exactly what you want because it's gotten rid of all the bad fits, right? And it's only left you with the people that you'd love to spend your time with them anyway. And you talked about this on another call. One of your clients, Mark, has actually, like, when we say that the people that you would want to spend your time with anyway, his story, he's actually doing that, right? He just recently took his top realtor partners out for whitewater rafting, right?
Right.
And so, that's what you end up with. You end up with people that not only send you business, but you enjoy spending your time with. And so you kind of get exactly what you were looking for. Not spending your precious time with people that you hate being around, but people that you enjoy being around, that still get you business. So you get to have your cake and eat it too, right? You get to do good while doing well, enjoy your time, have fun doing fun things with fun people, making money in the process, right? I love that. Trying to think if there's anything else. So I'm going to get it in the transcript. So what we just went through is we unpacked a number of different aspects from the story. We unpacked success. We unpacked problems and story along the way. In the final Who document, we want to make sure that we get all of that captured in a way that all of the context is there. It's not just bullet points, but there's enough context to the story that somebody could follow those points and principles along to understand them. In the long run, that document should be able to be referenced where stories, examples can be extracted depending on the content that's created. Everything from the tale of two clients to the the stories about the lenders, how we serve them, all of that, because there's all sorts of different ways that that could be leveraged. And it may not all be leveraged in every webinar, but it's kind of going to be the wellspring of that information. I think that really well covers everything that we need for the who documentation. Over time, there might be more that comes out as we look at specific examples, specific things that we're going through, but that should get us what we need to be able to do that well and be able to pull from it. Yeah, and that's probably a good place for us to call it in terms of time and what we've covered.
Perfect.
So next steps from here. So we covered when we look at my value catalyst workshop framework, we need the who documentation for a few slides that are really there to help people connect with you, set you up for success. We also need the core teaching. We have a lot of the core teaching done, but we might go through and just make sure that we have it well enough extracted so that we know here's exactly step by step how we're going to teach it. So we might be reviewing that a little bit as well. And again, we are working on let me see, the easiest way to get conversations is kind of the area that we're zeroing in to hook into for that first webinar. The other things that we potentially want to have, if you have any ideas for a bonus that we would want to give people, that could be useful as a way to, we open that loop at the beginning to say, hey, if you stick around to the end, you're going to get this bonus. If you have any ideas for that, I like to lean on what you already have rather than needing to create something brand new. So if you have anything around that we could do, that might be useful. It's not necessary, but it could be helpful. And then the offer itself. So in this case, the offer that we'll dive into is going to be what is the next step from the webinar, right? What is the ideal outcome? Somebody listens to this, we create a gap. What is the next thing that they do? It's not necessarily buy this thing. Sometimes it's book a discovery call, book this. So that we'll unpack that in a future call as well. But those are kind of the next steps. So with those things, we then take all this context, throw it in with AI into my mother webinar template. And then from that, we dial that in, make sure that feels good. Take that into Gamma, and you got what you need. We take that, develop landing pages, promo sequences, all of that. So it's coming along. It's coming along.
Nice. Yeah. So for the bonus, I'm thinking like exactly what to say on the first video, or exactly what to say like when you reach out, kind of like the checklist and scripts and dialogues on how to do it.
Yep, those ideas are great. I think especially if you already have it. It's also something, if you don't have it, we might, through the process of what we're putting together for the teaching, it could be part of that. But yeah, it's bonuses are always best when they are related to the topic of the webinar itself, and help somebody do it better, cheaper, or faster, right? Templates, tools, checklists, all of that. That's great stuff. So yeah, on our next one, that's what we'll dive into. We'll dive into, we'll look and see. We got the who. We've got most of the core teaching. It might be good for us to go through and review the core teaching, because from that we might extract out what the bonus would be and potentially the offer too. Sometimes the who takes a lot of discussion. Some of those other ones take less discussion in order to make them good. So does that all make sense?
That does.
Perfect.
Exciting. We have a bunch of thumbs up and hearts today. We got a few people watching, so
Indeed,
it is a good time. Pretty exciting. Thank you. It's really cool to see like how your system has evolved in the last 5 years and how it's just getting more and more thorough and
right.
Pretty exciting to see. Thanks for running me through this.
You got it. How are you feeling about the process overall in terms of like what we're extracting and what you're ending up with and what it creates for you?
So what I really like about it is, like I've bought courses before on like how to do a webinar, and it's all, sales focused.
Right.
Even if the first half is teaching, the second half is all sales focused.
Right.
And like me and you, we did a webinar before, but it's one that like I'm not going to just keep reusing it every month.
Right.
Like the only way that works is if I'm doing a lot of ads to get new audience. So
Right.
I like that this is building a large framework of stuff where I can, if I've got the same audience, I can still give them value
Right.
around all these different topics. And it's really, showing them I can help them, but actually helping them. I build enough goodwill. Like the offer is really simple.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, I love it. I think it'll work. I think it'll work great for you. What I love about this too is something that we'll explore. I haven't explored a ton yet overall, but I think for you especially, there's some good opportunity around figuring out kind of this blend of how does this also help to create mid-ticket offers as well. Some of these might just become mid-ticket offers where instead of doing them as free webinars, you do them as a mid-ticket style paid webinar, and it's still the same process. You're still figuring out the same information, but how you decide to deliver it and all that can make a difference, and it depends on what you're looking to do. So, yeah, I love it. I'm excited to progress further and get this dialed in for you. So we'll keep going.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Well, thanks.
You got it. Well, there we go. We got some ships done, and we'll get some more ships done next week.